Hey guys, what is up? I am Deyni if this is your first time here, and if you're back, then welcome back. For today's video, I will be finally opening up about my allergies, my eczema.
Look at these bumps. You got eczema?
I got what?
Got eczema?
Those of you who don't know what eczema is, it is basically, it's like a chronic condition that can be long lasting. You can either have it for your whole life, or if you had it when you were little, sometimes it goes away when you hit puberty or when you're going through puberty. It honestly just depends. Some people get it when they're already older, after pregnancies. Just it has to do a lot with like your hormones and all that. So yeah, in my case, I had it when I was very little. It would just started off with like asthma and like just, you know, rashes here and there, just being allergic to certain things. But then as I grew up, my asthma went away, but I did develop eczema, which is what I have now. It's basically just like skin irritation, and for example, it has to do with like a lot with what you eat and just technically what you're allergic to. I am allergic to dairy, so whenever I eat dairy throughout the days, I will notice that my skin starts flaring up, especially my face. My lip area will get a little red and irritated. My skin gets very, very, very dry. It can get to the point where it's so dry that it can, you know, crack up and maybe bleed sometimes, but that's just when I don't take care of it, which is not the case anymore. It has taken me a while, and I apologize, but you know, it's been pretty hard for me to open up about this topic. I am very proud of myself for finally opening up about this. I know that not a lot of you can relate, but for those of you who can, I am here to help you guys and talk to you guys about my journey. Like for example, today my eye woke up a little swollen. Why? I don't know. If you guys are interested in listening to my eczema journey and how I achieved this makeup look, then please keep on watching. So for today's video, I will be showing you guys how I do my everyday makeup look. Today I will be running some errands and all that, so I just wanted to throw a little bit of makeup on. So take these bad boys off. Can't see anything. To start off, I really do like using the Kylie Skin toner. It's called the Vanilla Milk Toner. This one is vegan and cruelty free. I'm very precautious when it comes to skincare. I don't really do much to my skin. Like I see people doing masks and doing just putting a whole bunch of things on their face that have scents and all that, so I really can't do that. This one has like a natural, very vanilla soft scent, and I've noticed that it does not flare me up, and I was so excited about, because when I bought it, I was technically risking all the money that I spent on it. But I love it, and I use it maybe once or twice a day. I usually do use it before I put on my makeup and normally after I shower. After that, I usually go in with my moisturizer, which I use the CeraVe, whatever it's called. It's a moisturizing cream. I go back and forth with Cetaphil, CeraVe, what's the other one? Oh, Vanny Cream. Because I've noticed that if I use the same product for like several months or way too long, it just doesn't do the same effect on me. I don't know why that happens, but I don't have questions. I just do what I gotta do. I do put this literally everywhere, all over my body, especially right after I shower. I try to moisturize as many times a day as I can. I'll usually use these two. These are my ride or die. If I don't have it, I will freak out. Letting that sink into my skin, I'll just tell you guys a little bit more about the creams that I use. And this one is accepted by the National Eczema Association. It's for normal to dry skin, which is basically what I have. It doesn't have any scent at all, which in my case, I cannot use those Bath and Body Works creams, those Victoria's Secret creams and lotions that just smell so delicious. I cannot. So with this cream, it is a little tacky, For example, like the Cetaphil one isn't. It's thinner, like a thinner coat. But my skin is so dry that the Cetaphil just doesn't really do much anymore. It doesn't really do much because my skin is so dry that if I do apply the Cetaphil one, I would have to apply it more times a day. Like my skin will just be dry again quicker. If that makes sense. I do have like the little versions of it. Keep those always in my purse. I have everything in my purse, literally. I have my hydrocortisone, my allergy pills. I'm literally an old lady and I don't care what anybody tells me, but I gotta take care of myself because I've learned my lesson throughout the years. Besides dogs and like cats and dust and all the regular shizzles, I am allergic to anything that has cow's milk. I cannot, like I'm not supposed to eat. It's not that I cannot. I won't swallow up or anything immediately. When it comes to eczema, it's not like you're having an immediate allergic reaction. Like when a dog touches my skin, I'll get rashes. When I eat things that I'm not supposed to, like eggs and dairy, it'll show up like a couple days after or like the day after. I will wake up a little more swollen. I'll notice that my upper lip is getting a little more red than it's supposed to. It does get a little dry on my upper lip, around my eyes, maybe on my nose sometimes. For the past couple years, I would say I am in my second year of college. So I would say since 7th grade and middle school, this redness on top of my lip showed up. And I would get comments about it all the time. And it was so annoying. People would tell me if I was drinking Gatorade, and you know, when you're drinking Gatorade, the circle where you drink from is larger. So when you drink it, sometimes you can like have the mark of the Gatorade, I guess. And people would ask me that. People would ask me if it was just a lot of things, and it would make me feel bad. It would make me feel bad because people make so many assumptions about what's on my skin and like what's on my body, because I don't only just get it on my face, I get it all over my body from the most minimal things, from shaving, from using a sunscreen I wasn't supposed to. It's just a lot because my skin is so sensitive. And honestly, I look like what I do now because I know I've learned how to control it. I've learned what I can and can't do, what I should and shouldn't do. So that's why my face does look clearer, and so does my body, thank God. But I did go through a lot, especially when you're like in the stage of like growing up, like going through puberty, you know, middle school, beginning of high school. Towards the end of high school, I would say maybe like 11th grade and up, is when I started to realize that I just don't care. Like I just don't care what people have to say. I know what I have and I know what I don't have, so I don't need to be brought down by other people's assumptions just because like they don't know me and they just want to make things up. My eczema has never really been as bad as it was a year ago, I would say. Yeah, it was like over a year ago. It was like last year, February, March, April, when like allergy season is in. Oh my god, I've been talking, I forgot to do my makeup. For primer, I do go in with the Pores No More Luminizer Primer by Dr. Brandt. I do love this primer, it's amazing, and I've noticed that it doesn't give me allergies. So yeah, it doesn't say on the packaging if it's vegan or cruelty free, but it doesn't give me allergies, which I appreciate. As I was saying, over a year ago, my allergies hit like the worst point in its lifetime. I'm going with the Tarte Shape Tape. This one is vegan and cruelty free, so it does not give me allergies. So instead of using foundation, I'll just use concealer under my eyes, a little bit on my nose, my chin, and just like any little areas where I need it. Slowly but surely, started waking up every single morning more and more swollen. Like I would wake up so swollen that I could not even open my eyes. Like I did not recognize myself. So I was like, what the heck is going on? Like I don't know what to do. I literally have no pets in my house. This was before I kind of knew I was allergic to cow's milk and all that. So yes, I would drink milk every single day for breakfast, whether it was with cereal or just café con leche. But I don't know, I was just very confused as to what was giving me allergies and why I was waking up so swollen and so puffy. So then at first it was just waking up swollen and having like redness and flare-ups on my face. Usually I've had it on my body. I wouldn't really get it on my face unless it was like my the inner corners of my eyes would crack, my outer corners would crack, maybe my lips, I don't know. But besides that, like my whole face being affected was just never a thing. And so little by little it just started getting worse and worse. And I had recently just started with my boyfriend, so I was like, well, not recently, it had been a couple months, but he knew I had my allergies, but he didn't know how bad I had them. So I was like, don't come over, I don't want my friends coming over, I don't want anyone coming over, like no one can see me like this. The thing is that it was my senior year, so I couldn't really be missing school that much because, you know, my senior year. So every day I just woke up worse and worse and worse and worse. So it's gonna be hard for me. So I decided that I will be uploading, like inserting pictures throughout me talking so that you guys can really see that I'm not lying, that it really was bad. Maybe it's not the worst case ever, but it was bad. And I would have to go to the hospital. Literally, I would go to the hospital every single weekend. Every single weekend for about like 4 or 5 months I would go. And every single time I would go, they would just be like, oh, you have a severe case of eczema. Okay, I know that. Oh, we're just gonna give you this little medicine. Okay, the usual. And we're just gonna put on this cream. Already do. So it was just very frustrating and very, like, I don't know, I just couldn't deal with it at the moment. And I thought it was gonna be the end of the world and it was never gonna go away. And honestly, I just didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to school because of how bad it was. My skin just got to the point where it would get so swollen that my face, like no matter how much moisturizer I would put, no matter how much anything I would put on my skin would be so dry, so dry that it would start cracking and just, I don't even know how to explain it without sounding like disgusting. It was just really bad, and I hope the pictures show exactly how bad it was, in my opinion. And it was just very frustrating, and honestly, I would cry and cry and cry. I just couldn't deal with it. I would be so sad. Like, I promise you, I would look at myself in the mirror and just start bawling because I just didn't know what to do. At that point, I was just frustrated and I was so stressed out, and I was just thinking about my friends and my boyfriend and school and what am I gonna do, and just I was basically thinking about everyone else that surrounded me and not thinking about myself and not thinking about how I can better myself. And crying wasn't helping because I would just get even more red. I would flare up even more. And I noticed that one of the causes, besides the fact that I am allergic to dogs and certain types of food, that stress really does not help out at all. Every time I get a little angry or I get a little stressed out over an exam, I notice that I'll start scratching myself. And I'm just like, oh my god, what am I doing? Stop. Like, relax, breathe in and breathe out. But I've noticed that that does affect my allergies a lot. I'm going to be using the RCMA powder. I don't really bake. I kind of just pounce it into my skin where I am oily. So that's another thing when it comes to my allergies. This video is going to be all over the place. I already know it. Oh my god, I'm sorry. the thing with my allergies and my eczema is that I am only dry in certain areas. So areas where like I get allergies, which is like my eyes, my upper lip. Yeah, I was just focused on what everybody else would think about me and not what I was thinking about myself. It's my skin, my body. Like, people judge me. People do judge me. Like, they would. And they would ask me, like, for example, the one that I had on my neck, well, it was kind of like my jaw and neck area. They would ask me if I had hickeys. And at first, I would be like, really? Hickey? A hickey? It was very noticeable that my patch was not a hickey. People would ask me like if I had a disease and that's why my face looked like that. Yeah, so I was like that for about, I would say maybe like 5 or 6 months, like just in that back and forth, going to the hospital, not knowing what to do. So they started prescribing me steroids. So with the steroids, what would happen was that I would take it and it would be a miracle. A miracle. And they would give me prednisone. So the prednisone, it's so strong that you would have to take it for about a week or however long the doctor prescribed it for you, depending on how severe your case was. Because you take a pill every single day and then the dosages start decreasing. Because you can't just stop taking it like a high dosage from one day to the other, because then it'll just come back immediately, whatever it was that was going on in your body. Okay, I'm gonna be using the Morphe bronzer in the shade Vlogger Contour palette. So it's a bronzer plus contour. This is very, very pigmented, so you have to be careful. So yeah, very good. Like the first time that I took prednisone, I was like, oh my god, this is heaven. This is it. This is gonna be okay. I'm gonna be fine. But then, after, I'd say a week after I stopped taking the medication, it starts coming back. So then I'm like, what the heck is going on? It starts coming back again, and I basically went to square one. I am getting swollen again, just the same process. The swelling worse and worse every day, my skin getting drier every day. I would just notice that my skin would be oozing out like this water, and it would be around my eyes and around my mouth. It wouldn't just be like it wouldn't be my cheeks area or like my forehead or anything. It would just be like my eyes and my mouth area. I went to my allergist, like my dermatologist. I was helpless. Like I needed someone to tell me what was going on and how to fix it.